to the FanMouth Fantasy Roundtable. I'm Erin, here with Dave and Jeff, and as we look forward to Week 13, we're going to give you our picks at quarterback. Dave, who do you have this week?
Well, I'm going with Andy Dalton of the Bengals this week against San Diego. I haven't had Dalton in my lineup at all season, and maybe I should have. He's had some really good games. He's having a very good season, and yet he's still only the 14th highest salaried quarterback, which to me is kind of surprising. I think Cincinnati, now coming off a bye, is really going on all cylinders. Everybody's healthy. They got a great cast of skilled players. Plus, Dalton is coming off a stretch where over a 5-game stretch, he averaged over 300 passing yards in those games. He did have a bad game against Cleveland last time out, but they've had a bye since then. They got a really good matchup this week against San Diego, which defense seems to be wearing down. They've given up 8 touchdowns the last 3 games. Dalton has 16 touchdown passes in his last 6 games. I think it's a great matchup.
Yeah, what I like about Dalton, too, is they throw the ball a lot. He's thrown the ball over 40 times. I want to say like 5 times this year. I mean, it's unreal, the amount of volume that he's going to get. In fantasy football, I say this all the time, it's about opportunities. You know, if you're going to have a quarterback that's going to throw the ball a ton, a running back that's going to run the ball a ton, or a receiver that's going to get a bunch of targets, those are the guys that you should be looking at before anyone else. So I like the pick a lot. I think the matchup's solid. But myself, I went with a different Andy. I went with Andrew Luck this week, okay? I've talked about before that Andrew Luck is a much better quarterback at home, okay? I put him in my lineup earlier this year when he was playing at home, and he really rewarded me. It was a great week for Luck and my fantasy team. So I like that he played Tennessee 2 weeks ago. He didn't do great. He had put up about 18 points. But now that he's at home, I'm expecting that number to go up, and he should be in the 20s. And if he gets around 20, 22, 25 points, that's what I'm hoping for, then that's going to reward the price tag.
Well, this Indianapolis team's coming off a couple really rough games. They don't look the same as they did in the beginning of the season. You really think that this matchup is their bounce-back game? You think he's going to rebound here?
I don't know how much success the Colts as a team are going to have, but like I said, his game against Tennessee, the one that you're referring to in the last couple games, he put up over 18 points, and that was on the road. He's a much better quarterback at home, so I'm not worried about that.
What I find interesting about our 2 quarterbacks is they're basically the same salary.
They are.
Yet, I think Dalton's been going better, and I think the matchup is a lot better. And that's what concerns me most about Luck here, is that Tennessee's pass defense is arguably the best in the league right now. I mean, the last 7 games, they've given up 2 touchdown passes. Like you said, they just played Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. Luck had no touchdown passes in that game. He did run for a touchdown, which accounted for a lot of his total. But if that's what it's going to take for him to even reach those numbers again, I wouldn't be counting on that.
Okay, but that considered, he's not a very matchup-dependent player. He put up over 22 against Seattle, and he put up over 30 against Houston. Both very good pass defenses, right? So I'm not worried about that at all. If it was on the road, then I would be saying the same things you are. But at home, he's a completely different player. 24.69 points at home. You know, this is a very good player at home.
Going back to Andy Dalton, you guys talked a lot about his volume. Are you not concerned about his interception rate? He throws the ball a lot, but he's up there with Eli Manning and Geno Smith in terms of the number of interceptions.
That does come with the territory when you throw a lot, and no doubt about it. In the last couple of games, his fantasy point totals have been hurt by the fact that he's thrown interceptions. I do like the fact that they're coming off a bye. I also like the fact that I think what makes Dalton consistent is that he has a lot of the ingredients that it takes for consistency. He has a star receiver. He's got a good number 2 receiver. They've got a good 3rd receiver. They've got a good back, who catches balls out of the backfield. They got 2 tight ends who catch the ball. I mean, he's got a lot of guys. It's almost like a New England or Denver type of situation. He's got a lot of guys you can throw the ball to. You take Green out of the action, and he throws the ball somewhere else. So I really like that for his consistency. Plus the fact, like I said, against San Diego, I think San Diego is going to afford him the opportunity to have a real good game.
He's got a lot of weapons. That is one of the best things about him. The problem is I don't think he's as talented as Andrew Luck. That's why I went with Luck. Usually when there's a couple guys close to each other, one's got the better matchup and one's got the more talent, I go with the talent. So
it doesn't matter how many weapons you have if you're not throwing to them. You're throwing to the other team, which seems to be his issue. But I do agree, there's a lot of weapons there, and if he can find them coming off the bye week, it could end up being a big day for him and for A.J. Green. Those are our quarterback picks for Week 13.